Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is somebody I just got to know. Although I've been killed by him, I don't know how many times. I've had his drone zap my armor, which pisses me off to no end. Like many great voice actors, he does not sound in person like he does in the game. He's doing a character. That's what we call talent, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together and welcome Johnny Young, a.k.a. Crypto and Apex Legends. How about it? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Now, you see, you and I talked for the first time, I think, was it yesterday?
I think it was yesterday for the first time, yeah.
Yeah, you and, let's see, Nicholas, is it Royer or Roy? How does he pronounce that?
I
Do you know?
have no idea.
Okay, Nicholas, Octane,
Yes.
Mela Lee. Is it Mela or Mela?
I think it's Mela.
Mela, okay. Mela Lee, also Lifeline, and Justine Hugsley, who is Watson. You guys all took a trip out to Respawn yesterday and congratulated them on the Halloween Fight or Fright event. Am I right?
We did. It was awesome. I don't even know where to begin. It was just so cool, just being there and meeting everybody, the art team and the devs and everyone we've worked with. They were super excited to meet us, which I was really surprised about. I thought that it was going to be a quick in and out, but we were there for like 4 hours.
Okay, we're going to take some questions off the chat a little later. First, I just wanted everybody to get to know Johnny. For starters, this is not your first rodeo. This is not your first game, correct?
Correct. That is correct. This is not my first game. I worked on a few games. I think the first one I worked on was Medal of Honor Warfighter. I had a really small part in it.
Okay.
And then I worked on, let me try to think. I worked on a game called World War Z.
Okay.
And I worked on, in Overwatch, I play, like if you, each of the characters have an animated short, and I play opposite the character Diva.
How did you get into the business? Not just voice acting, but acting, because you do a lot of on-camera stuff as well, correct?
Correct, I do. I was, I never really ever wanted to be an actor. I was always like, I was like an Eagle Scout, and my swimming coach was a U.S. Navy SEAL. And
wow.
Trained like the Buds, yeah.
Really?
And it was like super hardcore, and I was all about that when I was a young kid. And I was pretty chubby. That's how I lost all my weight, was being on the swim team. And I was sort of kind of going through that path, and then I sort of fell into acting through extracurricular activities.
Right.
And so I fell into that, and like as a kid growing up, I was a big gamer. So like I built PCs from back in the day, and I played like StarCraft and Counter-Strike and Half-Life and all those other games. I owned like every single system. So I always loved video games. But yeah, I've done a lot of theater and, a little bit of television and film.
Mr. Death said, well, damn, if you can lose weight, so can I, since I'm a 13-year-old who weighs almost 230.
But Mr. Death, I was about 210 pounds when I was like around 15 years old, like maybe 14, 15. So yeah, you could totally do it. It just takes a lot of dedication, and if you decide to do it, yeah, you could totally do it.
Absolutely. Did you suddenly, were you just grinding away for years and then suddenly things broke through, or has it just been sort of a slow, steady build?
For on camera, yeah, it was a real long, arduous process, because things have changed a lot now, but back when I started 15 years ago, back when headshots were black and white, and you had
yeah. Yes, I've been there.
By hand, yeah, and had to write all the letters by hand. It was really tough for someone of Asian descent to sort of, there weren't a lot of roles for us, so
right.
And things have changed a lot, but it just, so there were very few roles to even sort of go out for, so it took a long time. For me to kind of get all that training and
right.
and getting myself out there, but also like for the industry to sort of like become what it is today.
What was the audition like? Like, people ask me about my audition. I read for it, and then I had a call back, and I went into the studio, and then boom, okay, you're Pathfinder. But what was it like for you? Because this was before the game was even made. For you,
yeah.
The game was established.
Yes, for me, actually, over at Respawn, the guys were laughing about that because when I auditioned for it, I immediately knew it was Apex just from reading the lines because I was a fan. I was a huge fan of Titanfall and all of Respawn stuff, and so I knew like the lore, and I knew just by reading the lines, I was like, there is only one universe this lives in.
Right.
So I was really excited, but I had to kind of like show myself out. So I kind of like you, I just worked off of my Mac, my mic, and I sent in an audition, and then my agent was like, you have a callback. And I was like, what? I have a callback? I was like, I've never heard of a callback for a voiceover audition.
And we should clarify that it's true. In voice acting, it happens, but you don't tend to get a lot of callbacks. You read, and either you get it or you don't.
Yeah, so I was really surprised, and then when I walked into the studio, I was like, oh my goodness, like this is a big deal. Like, you know, you can kind of tell, and the whole team was standing there. It was like,
oh really?
Yeah, well, there was a lot of them there, so it was kind of like a producer session for almost like television, where there's like, you know, like 8 people just staring at you. You know, when I was younger, that sort of situation was a lot more intimidating, but
right.
They were really friendly,
right?
And they wouldn't tell me what it was. But
you knew.
But I knew, and they knew
yeah.
that I knew. I was like,
okay.
I was kind of like, and then they're like, okay. And I was like, okay,
right.
I'm gonna get in the booth, I'm gonna do it.
Right. I knew nothing about this universe. I didn't know who Respawn was. I didn't know Titanfall. I didn't know anything. It had absolutely no bearing on what I was doing. I just said, oh, you want a happy robot? I can do that. You know, no problem. And that was it. But for Crypto, did they tell you much about his backstory?
They didn't, but what they did was they gave me specific references to his character.
Okay.
For film characters and things like that. So I was like, to kind of get his aura, or his essence. Sorry, his essence.
Right. Right.
And so I researched a ton and sort of went through a bunch of films that I thought were similar to his character, and I tried to get a lot of other actors' sort of essences and try to like mash them into one character.
That is so much more prep than I do. I feel like a complete Philistine.
This one I kind of did all that just to kind of put together a character, but there's a lot of auditions where I'm like, I read it, I'm like, oh, I can do that, and I'm like, oh hey there, man, or like, oh hey there, dude. You know, it's like you just kind of understand the essence.
See, there's the thing about voice acting. Everybody knows your voice is Crypto, and right now, I would hope that they furiously type in your name on Google and go to your IMDb and go to whatever other stuff you've got going on, and we'll have you, mention that before we go, so you can see what else that Johnny Young has done. But if you're a voice actor, there are 2 kinds of voice actors. There are people who kind of do one thing, and they stay in one lane, and they do it really well. Yeah. And then there are people who are more like me. They're all over the map. I get the sense that you can do a lot of different things.
I grew up watching all these cartoons and video games and mimicking. But as of right now, like I seem to get cast as a very specific role, which I don't mind.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm working on something right now which is very different than Crypto.
Okay.
Which I can't speak about, and hopefully I'll tell you guys all about it later.
We understand the NDAs. Now, I had one person on the chat, Kaddish, a regular viewer, wants to know, how does it feel being the voice of a character, asking both of us, but heard by players every day all over the world. You really give life to the characters and their personalities. How does it feel for you? What's the fan response been?
The fan response has been really, really, really positive and really amazing. Like, I, as a video game fan myself, and a fan of actually chat, like Chris and all these other guys.
Right.
Before I joined Apex, I saw all their video interviews and I was excited and I was a fan.
Right.
But yeah, the response has been overwhelmingly positive.
Uh-huh.
But for myself, it's still surreal because it's like I'll still watch all the trailers over and over again, but not as like I worked on that, but like as a fan. So it's really strange to me.
Now, you're also a gamer, correct?
I am.
As a gamer, what do you think about and I get this question all the time, but I got to ask it of you. What's it like when you're in the game and you're hearing your voice? Like, first of all, do you main Crypto?
I actually do main Crypto.
I main Pathfinder, and I'm completely unashamed about it. And it's at first I did it because, oh, this is my character. Now I played him so much, it's the only one I know how to play.
That's well. I mean, you have a pretty cool character, to be honest. Because even in Titanfall, I used your hook all the time anyway. In Titanfall,
really?
So it's really so it's really useful.
I know nothing about that. I am a complete idiot when it comes to that. But what is it like when you're taking Crypto and you're hearing your own lines and it was like 3 months ago I said that in a studio. Now here it is. How does that feel?
Yeah. It's cool every time. It's really just surreal for me. It's my best friends who play, they hate it because they're like, oh my God, John, can you stop talking at me? Like that's what they say.
We know that obviously there's more to come as far as Apex Legends goes. Mm-hmm. And we know that they're probably going to get deeper and deeper into each character. Like, Crypto existed at the beginning of the game. It's just in little tiny ways. He would be in some of the artwork, I believe. They say you can see Crypto in one of the Pathfinder promo shots where he's looking and you can see Crypto in the crowd.
Yes, I do remember that. That is correct, yeah.
There was a brief time where right before Crypto got rolled out, you could go into the void and see Crypto typing at a terminal, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Did you do that? All right, did you do that? Did you go in and find yourself?
I did not. I YouTubed it.
What? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Now that's just lazy. I had to go in there and get shot up.
Because what happened was I have a group of friends who I play with almost nightly, and we kept going into the void, and we would just get murdered.
Yeah.
We get murdered every single time. It was like a murder hole.
It was a murder hole. Here's the thing I've also wondered, because it's been a long time since I've done on camera. Do you find voice acting to be a bit more liberating? Just as far as what you can go out for and what kind of performance you can give?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been one of those things where I can't believe, well, A, I can't believe I'm in it, and B, I can't believe I'm, like you said, that I get to have all this freedom because, as an on-camera actor, all you're given is this, right? Or that, right?
Right.
And you have to work with that, and which is fine, but but as a voiceover actor, it's like, as a kid growing up, well, at least I can't speak for you and other actors, but I wanted to be able to play everything, and it was just as a kid, using your imagination, and as a voice actor, you sort of can. So yes, I do find that liberating in that sense. I do miss the one thing I kind of do miss is like the interaction with other actors, but I know some projects you get to be in a room together,
right,
and work together. Because for the season 2 trailer, I got to work with Roger in the mocap suits, and we got to act opposite each other a lot.
How much of that did they let you do, and was any of it where they said, no, we have to have a stunt person do this?
So a lot of the stuff that Roger and I did between Mirage and Crypto. Right,
Roger Craig Smith, Mirage, by the way.
Sorry, yes, Mirage, Roger Craig Smith, amazing, awesome, super duper awesome guy.
Yes.
We just had more go back and forth going on, so we were able to do that. But I know that they try to keep a lot of the action for the stunt people because the stunts are pretty crazy. Like a lot of people think, oh, this is all animated. The animation's so smooth, but I'm like, no, this is all done in real life. Like I was telling the other voice actors yesterday, like for Octane in season 3, when you see Octane hit the water and he shoots up and then the camera spins and he's shooting the gun. I remember Drew, he asked one of the stunt guys, it was like right after lunch, he was like, hey man, can you jump and go vertically upside down, do a 360 spin and then shoot the gun? And then in my head I was like, there's no way this guy's gonna do it. And then the guy was like, yeah, absolutely. And he just did it right away. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's amazing. Is there a common misconception people have about you personally after they get to know some of the work you've done? A lot of times I find that people think, oh, well, I heard you on this thing, so you must be rich. You must live in a solid gold house.
Oh, I
And
see. Those kind of misconceptions.
yeah, well, actually, any misconception, I'd be interested to hear. Do people ever have misconceptions about you?
I think so. I think, that is one of them where it's like you get to see, as you may know, like, because your work is everywhere, or because
Right.
just because your face or your work is everywhere, doesn't mean that we have like $50 million mansions. It'd
Right.
be nice, but
It'd be nice.
yeah, but not so much that, but more of these days. Like I've been working on a play that my friend wrote, and
Okay.
that character is extremely heavily accented, and so they think that that's how I sound. They're
Okay.
like, and I got to change my voice,
Right.
like crypto.
Right.
So they think that's how I sound, and then they go, "Oh, you sound nothing like that." I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
So, like, have you done other accents for other things?
I have. I've done Japanese. I've done
Okay.
Chinese, and the thing is like you. The thing about voice acting is that, like, and as you know,
Yeah.
I try to be true to the accent as much as possible.
Right.
But on top of that, to serve the story and to have the audience sort of understand what you're saying,
Yes.
you also have to make tweaks. So I have had people say, oh, like maybe one or two people say, oh, like that doesn't sound completely Japanese, or that doesn't sound completely Korean. It's like, I understand. It's like you try to work with whatever you can as much as possible, but as you may know, like engineers sometimes or audio directors might be like, we can't hear what you're saying, so you have to cheat it a little bit.
Do you do anything to stay trained as an actor? Are you in classes? Do you workshop? Or do you just stay busy? Like you mentioned, you're doing a play. Is this like I always told people, as far as training goes, I'm extremely fortunate in that I get regular auditions. Voice acting is a much higher volume business than on camera. So I have a steady stream of things to read for, and it keeps me lubricated, So
Yeah.
in your case, what do you do to stay on your game as far as your craft goes?
Gosh, well, for most of my, 15 years of acting, I would always be in class. And
Okay.
I would always check out different classes. But recently, kind of like you, like because there's such a high volume of voice acting
Right.
stuff that comes in, I've just been sort of doing that. And, whenever I do plays, I'll do that. And I'll just constantly kind of keep working. But like you, but kind of like you said, it's like, you need to stay lubricated. It's kind of like, getting a workout at the gym.
Do you see a big difference in auditioning in the on-camera world and going to, say, an off-site audition in the voiceover world where you might hang out with other voice actors? I always noticed a difference in the vibe of the waiting rooms for those two. Have you noticed a difference in that?
Absolutely. Like the voiceover world, everyone's just like, hey man, break a leg, or like, hey man, hey, what's up, good morning. And the on-camera world, everyone's just like, they're quiet, and they're like sizing each other up. But I've been in it so long enough where I know a lot of the actors there now.
Right.
Because usually you in the on-camera world,
you see the same people.
About acting. Yeah, you see the same people over and over again, and they're just really nice. So you just kind of hang out with them.
Right.
And it's a long time ago in my early 20s. I used to be like I gotta focus, but
right.
Now it's kind of like I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun.
A lot of on-camera actors that do very well with voiceover, they never truly leave the on-camera world. It's too much of a rush. Yeah. It's just too much of a connection you make with a live audience. Because I have to admit, I did stand-up for 10 years professionally, and if you don't have a live audience in front of you, you feel it. You feel the lack of it. Yeah,
and that's sort of like what I was talking to some of the guys over at Respawn yesterday. Well, not, I didn't talk to them about. That's kind of how I felt. Where it's like you, as you may know, like you're in this booth and like you have interaction with the engineer or like the sound director, and you just have this team in front of you, and then it gets released, and then like you just see numbers. You just see YouTube and like 7 million views or like #1, and it's exciting, but you really don't get to interact with your audience. And so that's why when I went to Respawn and everyone was like, oh, I was like, holy crap. I was like, it was really overwhelming in a good way.
totally understand where that's coming from, and I could see that you'll probably spend the rest of your life always doing something in front of an audience, I would say.
Yes, I mean, I would hope so, but also, it's so I don't know how to put it, but it's like when I'm doing voiceover, I'm like I kind of miss on camera, and then when I'm doing it on camera, I'm like, but the comfort of voiceover. It's that like push and pull, and there's so much other stuff like, you flub and you're like, oh, let me take that up again, instead of like worrying about like a $50 million set like around, and like there's like all these extras and other actors, and like there's that, and the comfort of being able to just say, okay, I'm gonna take a quick break.
Right. Well, first, before we do let you go, and before I open up to the chat stream, how can people find you? Can they find you on Twitter, any kind of social media, website, any projects you got going? Lay it on them.
Instagram, Twitter are probably the two best ways to reach me.
Okay.
My handles, I gotta look them up. I don't know them. Twitter handle is JohnnyYoung115.
Okay.
And my Instagram handle is JohnnyQuest115.
JohnnyQuest115 and JohnnyYoung115. Elegant Ferrets, thank you very much. Already put up your Twitter handle and a link on the chat. Avocado Fire is a question. Are you ever going to cosplay Crypto? Or would that be a little bit too on the nose, as they say in the acting world?
I wouldn't mind it if like Apex, if Respawn had some crazy huge event, like, you know what I mean? I think it'd be a ton of fun, but we'll have to see. I wouldn't mind it, but but as for now, it might be a little too on the nose.
A little bit. Well, the great thing about being a robot is no one expects you to cosplay him, because I don't think I could pull that costume off. Are you currently working on a video game project that you could say that, yes, I'm working on a video game?
I am not. It's not a video game.
Okay.
It will be on television.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all we needed to know. So you are working on a TV project, and it'll be out, I'm guessing, sometime next year, is what I'm guessing. Maybe. Okay. All right. So he's working on a TV project, so he's busy. By the way, guys, if Johnny Young got a stream together, would you watch it? Let me know. I think I know the answer, but you know what? I think we got to push Johnny into this world. Yes, instantly Mr. Death said yes, and then we have an oh hell yes. We have a awesome. Totally. All right. So, because Johnny was kind of telling me, I was thinking about trying this, but was wondering, would anyone watch? Yes, of course. Of course they would. Elegant said she would even install Apex on PC to play with you.
Oh, awesome. So,
yeah, that's the highest compliment. Trust me, because once people get their platforms, they don't like to change them. I am an Xbox guy. All right, so a couple of minutes left. Let's do a question or two.
Sure.
Let's see. Well, Patriot Games would like to know if you've tried Mirage's pork chop recipe.
I have not. I would love to, though.
Yeah, apparently there is a pork chop recipe. So I tell you what we'll do. We'll do a quick Pathfinder Crypto back and forth, if that's cool with you, Johnny.
Absolutely.
All right, so here it is. I tell you what, guys on the chat, tell me what you want Pathfinder and Crypto to be doing together. Are they jumping in to Season 3 map together? And is that what they're doing? A little quick back and forth? Okay, Crypto and Pathfinder having an argument. All right, I could understand that. All right, so some skydive banter. Hi, Crypto. I really like your cryptic stuff. It's really cryptic. Is that what crypto means?
Oh, you're too loud. Be quiet.
Say, Crypto, can you do those fun backflips like Mirage does?
Who paired me with this stupid robot?
Hey, Crypto, would you mind encrypting the vault for me so I can get in and get that gold armor? I'll save you something, I promise.
Oh my god. I think I'm going to dive off now and kill myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Johnny Young, a.k.a. Crypto, and not just Crypto. He's a whole lot of other stuff. He's a very accomplished, talented actor. We're going to have him back. If you want to come back, we're going to try and jump into a match one day with you. If you want to try it, we should do it.
I'd love to.
All right. Once again, thank you. Check him out on Twitter, on Instagram. Find him on IMDb. Find him on Apex Legends. Main Crypto. Forget Pathfinder for a while. Broaden your horizons. Johnny, thanks again, brother.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat.
All right. Awesome. Thanks again. We'll talk soon.